Today we are heading back into the Atlantic forest in search of a rather special bird. The weather is cloudy and foggy, but I'm hoping it doesn't rain. I'm heading to Pedreira, a small city just about 2 hours north of the city of Sao Paulo. My guide for today is João Ferreira Santos. This is my second time birding with him, and he's exceptional. Knows the birds, knows the Atlantic forest, has many years of experience, and also he is well known locally. So what it is that on the outskirts of Pedreira there's a lot of forested areas, and so that's what we are at right now with the guide. He's taking me along a trail that he found in 2019, and we're going to see what we can find on the trail. And I have to talk a little bit softly here. But yeah, so let's see what we catch. In just a few minutes, we saw a female white-barred piccole perched quietly. And then, soon after, a male furiously hunting for termites. So I noticed his beak was full of insects, but he wasn't eating them. And a few moments later, the reason became clear as to why. So after that spectacular moment, we were then graced by a rufous gnat eater. This species is monomorphic, meaning males and females look identical. But if I had to guess, I'd say this was a male, as it briefly displayed its crown towards us. That was a very, very rare sighting. We saw a male woodpecker feeding a little juvenile. Very, very rare, and it was absolutely not afraid of us. We were maybe 3 meters away from it, and it was totally okay with feeding its baby in front of us. It was incredible. I think I got some good footage of it. Even the guide was a little bit astonished by it, because it's not something that's very, very common to see here. So it was rather interesting. There is a bird called a shoroboy that's making a lot of noise, but it refuses to come close. If you can hear it, refuses to come close, so we can't really get a good video of it. Let me turn my microphone on. But all in all, great first start to the day. Just to give you an idea, what he does is he uses a speaker. So unfortunately, we are on a road on a Friday, and yeah, there are trucks that go by. As you can hear it, it's an absolutely loud truck. The birds don't seem too deterred by it. Neither the birds nor my guide seem to be too deterred by the noise of cars. I mean, that's really what it is, isn't it? Being so close to the Atlantic forest, the birds start to get accustomed to just human noise, cars, factories, people talking. Oh, Jean seems to be on the trail of something here. Let's see what he picks up for us. Yeah, so this is something very interesting that João has been showing me. Over here are the little burrowing holes of the woodpecker, you see. That's actually where they have eggs. They lay their eggs there, they give birth there, and then the baby stays in there for about a few weeks before it starts to emerge. And the thing is, with birds, they come back to nest in the same places over and over again, so it's one of the known spots for Jean. As you can see now, let me turn this around. There's the city, right, of Pedreira. That's essentially where we just drove in from. And if you take a look, João is opening up a little trail where we can go start the trail. Trilha do Soldadinho, the little soldier. Trail of the little soldier. I think it's on a private property, but João obviously knows the owner and he is friends with him, and he has permission to take people in there. As you can see, the forest starts over here. Now when I say forest, it's heavily dense, it's wooded, but I wouldn't say it's a forest. It is still part of Mata Atlântica. Mata Atlântica, or Atlantic forest, isn't just a very dense place. It also is like this, hills with a lot of vegetation. And this is interesting. I don't know what this one is called. Oh, not too spiky at least. So at this new location, we found a white-eared puffbird. Despite its almost cartoonish look, it is an efficient predator, feeding on frogs, lizards, snakes, large insects. I've been told even small birds. João thought he saw a pileated finch, but despite following it deep into the thicket, we couldn't really get a clear view. Instead, I turned my attention to a scarlet dragonfly, easily recognized by its intense crimson body and red eyes. While I was taking pictures of the scarlet dragonfly, I didn't realize that I was also being watched by a squirrel cuckoo. It was perched above me, and this bird is super stealthy. It's a predator. It has these warm chestnut tones, beautiful long tail, and very yellow piercing eyes. It's pure forest elegance. At this point, we drove further into the property and we parked the car shortly after. From here on, it would all be on foot. The idea was to ascend the hill, scan for activity, and then descend onto the other side and head straight into the forest. I just didn't know at this point how far into the forest we were actually going to go. When we reached the top of the hill, we saw a white woodpecker. As soon as it saw us, it took off. We tried to call it in, but instead a little woodpecker showed up, and we got to see a good display of its hunting skills. Shortly after this, we walked a little bit further and we saw an American black vulture perched high on top of a tree. And next to it was also a brown-crested flycatcher. And in the foliage, we also found a green barred woodpecker. Take a look at this place, and yeah, it's humid. It is hot, and we've been walking a lot. I think we're gonna walk about 4 kilometers today, but because we stop in many places and it's elevation, it gets pretty hot. But let me show you. Here we are. That's João leading the way. And we are on top of the mountain. The hills that you saw earlier, we're on top of one of those hills. Check out these trees. These are the sort of trees that toucans love to make nests in. Woodpeckers love to make nests in those. A lot of bugs. And if you walk into the Atlantic forest, you need to have these. What are these? I think most people would know. They are snake garters. So you gotta be careful because there are lots of vipers. Not that we've seen any. And we're not really going a lot into the bush. We're staying more or less on the trail. On the trail like that. So yeah, let's see. Now we're really in the forest, into the thick of it, as they would say. Yeah, it's dense. I'm gonna let you listen. So here, with all this leaf litter, you kind of have to be careful. The reason why João is going ahead of me, well, not only because he knows the place, but also because he wants to make sure there are no vipers around. Again, this is still inside all the private property that we entered. Whoa, I am stuck somewhere. Because I'm walking around with my tripod on my shoulder and my camera connected to it, it keeps getting stuck on branches. Just when you thought it couldn't get more closed off, it does. How's this for a really closed forest? I think we hear owls.
Tadi. Canto.
So João thinks that he has heard the bird we're looking for. Soldadinho is basically what the trail is named after. The little soldier. Let's see.
Soldadinho.
Atrás de nós.
É ele. Atrás de você.
Lá, 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 lá. Consegui chamar ele.
Vou chamar. Tá esperto aí, tá, cara?
And there it was. We finally found a female helmeted mannequin. I was slightly disappointed it was only the female, but she is striking nonetheless. Just as I was coming to grips with my disappointment, the male appeared.
Casal. Junto.
E aí, João? Deu certo?
Cara, você deve ter feito as melhores fotos dele, o casal.
Acho que tirei bastante vídeo
sim,
também.
Sim. Ele nunca se apresentou de uma maneira tão bonita como hoje. Ele ficou vários minutos parados. O macho, a fêmea.
Man,
demorou, cara.
that was a
mas
lot
valeu
of
a pena.
work. We went
tá
through
cantando aqui, ó.
so much bush, so much of the Atlantic forest. Man, I'm surrounded by mosquitoes.
Deixa eu fazer uma
Totally worth
fazer
it.
uma-
Look at where we are exactly in terms of... I mean, this is where we are. We are absolutely in the dense forest, right? Totally walked into the forest. And yet, just when it seemed like it was not going to be fruitful, it turned out to be extremely fruitful, because that was a hell of an encounter. Very rare. Very few people in Sao Paulo who are birders get to see what we just saw. And now, of course, the sun comes out. Look how beautiful it is. All this commotion drew in a little white-throated spadebill.
Olha ele cantando. Patinho.
Another rare little bird, and this one is no bigger than my thumb. It is tiny. So we walked in a little bit further to see what else we can find, but we stumbled across the remains of a dead horse. Jean thinks that it was bit by a snake and died, and that the farmer that it belonged to must have left it, as it would have been too heavy to haul all the way back out of the forest. The nonchalant manner in which he told me this was all the motivation I needed to get out of here, so we started the long hike back to the car. After a much needed break, we went out again in search of raptors, and we checked many perches. We didn't find any raptors, but what we did find was a blue and yellow macaw and a fledgling common putu. Since we couldn't find any raptors, I told João that I'd be interested in trying to find some kingfishers. So we went to a man-made lake that was nearby, and we found no kingfishers, but a lot of activity there. By the end of the afternoon, I feel our luck had run out because rain clouds had started circling in, and we decided to call it. This was the end of my trip at Pedreira and a full day of venturing out into the Atlantic forest. I really hope you enjoyed it.